Hello, welcome to today's webinar on building real-time KPI dashboards with Geckoboard and Zendesk. My name's Nick, I'm Product Marketing Manager at Geckoboard. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this today. Now, bit of housekeeping before we get going. You've probably realised this is a pre-recorded webinar. It is not live. But if you've got any questions at all, or if you want me to elaborate on anything that I've gone through today, then just drop a comment below and I will follow up to it. So any questions, drop them below. Secondly, if you are the sort of person who likes to follow along to these sorts of things, then you can create your own free trial of Geckoboard. Just go to geckoboard.com, click sign up. That'll give you a 14-day trial, and we don't ask for payment details up front or anything like that. So you can just play around with the tool to your heart's content and get a feel for things that way. Finally, we've got some exciting changes coming up to our Zendesk integration that should be shipping in July or so. So just a heads up that everything I'm going to cover today might look slightly different if you're looking at this in the future. But all the key concepts will carry over. It's just the new version will look a bit slicker and be a bit easier to use. But today should still be very, very useful indeed. Right. In terms of an agenda then, I am going to just do a quick introduction to what Geckoboard is and some of the use cases that it's useful for. And then I'm going to jump into a demo where I will visualize some metrics from Zendesk using Geckoboard, build up a dashboard, and then explore a few of the ways that you can then share that dashboard with your team and stakeholders through the rest of the business. Okay, so what is Geckoboard? Well, a useful starting point for answering that question is to think about the problem that it solves. So we know that in customer support, knowing what's happening right now is incredibly important if you want to react quickly to spikes in tickets or chat or spot inefficiencies. But answering that question, what is happening right now, is often incredibly tough. If you're a team lead, you might have that data, but it's spread out across different tools, different places, different parts of Zendesk, or it's buried in different browser tabs. So seeing that state of play throughout the day is hard. If you're an agent, you don't have your head in the data at all. You have your head down answering customer queries, answering tickets, you're on chat. You don't have that wider situational awareness of where what channels are busy right now, or what's going on outside of your team, or in different teams in different time zones, if that's how your organization is structured. And then for everyone else in the organization, there's very little visibility at all into what's going on in customer support. And often when they see certain metrics, it might be in a report at the end of the month. That data's often laggy, and there's very little visibility of customer support data throughout organizations in general. And so Geckoboard exists really to solve this problem. And we do it in three core ways, really. So the first one is to help you connect your data. So bringing data together from all those different sources. And we do that by having really easy to use no-code integrations with not just Zendesk, but a lot of other popular business tools as well, so that you can access metrics in those tools really easily. We then help you simplify that data. So building really easy to understand visualizations and turning those into professional looking dashboards that anyone in your organization is going to understand just by quickly glancing at it. And then finally, we make it really easy for you to get those dashboards in front of the right people at the right time. So whether that's through a link that you can quickly share with others around you, or posting it to Slack, or even, as some of our customers do, displaying live dashboards up on a TV or a big monitor in the workplace. So some of you are probably thinking, dashboards, well, Zendesk Explore does dashboards, and yes, it does dashboards really, really well. It's super comprehensive. It's got all the metrics you could possibly want from Zendesk, and historical data and different ways of calculating different metrics on top of that. And you've got loads of options as well for customizing the visuals, not just the visualization types, but the colors on them. It's really the most comprehensive tool for visualizing data from Zendesk. Geckoboard's a little bit different in that it's focused on helping you share the most obvious, the most popular metrics from Zendesk in a really, really easy to understand, intuitive way. So our dashboard builder, as we'll see later, is very much on rails. You can still customize it, but we don't give you loads of different options to customize every single nuanced bit of the dashboard, because that can send you down a design rabbit hole, let's put it that way. We focus more on real-time data than historical data. And then the biggest difference as well is with Geckoboard, you can add data from non-Zendesk data sources as well. So as I said before, we've got around 80 different integrations, spreadsheets, other CS tools like Intercom and Klaus. We've got Zapier as well, which again opens up another several thousand options for getting data into Geckoboard. So it really is a tool for bringing those core headline metrics from different places into one easy to understand view. Here's an example. So this is a dashboard for monitoring the performance of live chat. So you can see it's pulling together some high-level metrics like what the current chat queue is and what the current wait time has been today. You can break that down by agent. You've got CSAT, you've got first response time. Here's another example. You've got different metrics from across different channels all together in one place. So you've got some chat metrics up there in the top right, but then you're also bringing in some ticket metrics and some self-serve metrics as well from your help center. Here's an example that was provided to us by one of our customers, Vend. So they use their dashboards to motivate their agents by showing the performance of different agents relative to each other, like how they're performing in terms of CSAT and tickets solved and things like that. And here's another example from another one of our customers, Just Park, who used this dashboard to spot instantly if anything is going wrong across any of their channels. So they have things like breached SLAs and number of calls waiting, so they're getting that really quick real-time alert if something is going wrong, and they can then go and fix that really, really quickly. All right, I think it's time to jump into the demo now. So here we are on geckoboard.com. As I mentioned earlier, if you want your own account just to play around with, you can hit sign up there in the top right, and that will start your free 14-day trial. I obviously already have an account, so I'm going to click login. And when you first sign up to Geckoboard, this is what you start out with. It's a blank dashboard, and the aim of the game here is to start filling this out with what we call widgets. And widgets are basically live visualizations of your data. So let's go ahead and add a widget. And here you can see all the different data sources that Geckoboard connects to. So you've got Excel, Google Sheets, HubSpot, Stripe, YouTube. We're going to go for Zendesk support, obviously. And what you're seeing here is a set of the most popular metrics from Zendesk. So things like ticket volume, CSAT, tickets by tag, things like that. So these give you a really quick way to start visualizing some of the more obvious metrics. So I'm going to go ahead and click ticket volume. Before I do, just to note, the first time you do this, if you haven't connected Zendesk already to Geckoboard, you'll just get a little pop-up where you need to authorize Zendesk to connect to Geckoboard, and we will then import the last 30 days or so of data from your Zendesk account so we can start building your visualizations. But I've obviously already done that, so I'm just going to click ticket volume there. And there you go. There is a visualization showing ticket volume over the last 28 days or so. Now, the story does not end there. We need to turn this into a dashboard and perhaps dial this data into something a bit more relevant or a bit more useful for us. So first of all, I'm going to click Edit to start fine-tuning this. So this is where most of your workflow is with Zendesk. So in here you can do things like change the metric. So we have many different ticket metrics, efficiency metrics, CSAT, SLAs. But I'm going to go back to tickets. You can also easily change the visualization just by selecting different options here. So if you just want a number, just click that. If you want a line, bar. And you'll notice we've kept the selection there quite small. And again, that's so that you don't go down a design rabbit hole and start visualizing, different types of tickets that are being received as a pie chart, and you've got these tiny little slices. It's really easy to go off the rails when it comes to data visualization. So less is more when it comes to this, we believe anyway. I'm going to keep that as a bar chart. No, actually I'm going to set it to a line chart because I want to compare ticket volume for the past 28 days with the previous 28 days. And you can see it's added that grey line there, which again is very useful, adds a bit more context. And then I'm going to look at what filters are available. With filters, there are many different options here that you can use to dial that metric into exactly what you want. So you can even break it down to individual assignees, but also brands, channels, groups, priority status. You can get really granular as well with tags. So I've got to think if we've got any tags with lots of volume here. Yeah, there we go. There are a few. So yeah, in theory, that is tickets that have been tagged with Ben reply. Ben's our VP of product. He hopefully replied to them. So that is good. I'm going to remove that just so we've got a bit more data to play with. We can also set a goal on line charts as well. So if we want to show the days when we are getting fewer than 200 tickets. So let's say we've just made some improvements to our help center so that we can deflect more tickets towards it, and we are interested in lowering ticket volume over time. I can highlight the days where that has happened quite easily like that. Okay, let's just ticket volume. Let's just add a title. So we have a visualization. We can move that visualization around. We can resize it. And we can now also start adding more widgets to our dashboard. So let's go back into Zendesk support. And I'm going to add first reply time. So again, this is a great way to surface metrics which for agents are often quite tricky to see or access throughout the day. but it's a great way to flag these and focus everyone around improving certain metrics. So I'm going to put first reply time, and I'm going to also show if that number is improving or getting worse. So I'm going to compare it to previous period, and because this is a time-based metric, I'm going to just show how many minutes it's changed by. Oops. All right. Looking good. So we can also do something like adding a top ticket solvers leaderboard. So I mentioned earlier on that people often use Geckoboard to motivate agents. Well, this is a great way because you can create a leaderboard that updates throughout the day, showing who has answered the most tickets, or you can also dial that into other metrics as well. There's a chat version, a talk version. So I'll leave that there. One other thing that I just want to show is you can group metrics as well. So let's say both of these metrics are covering the same time period. We can show that commonality, that association, by dragging them together and giving them their own group. So past 28 days. There we go. Can resize that. That's coming together. A few other little tips and tricks. So you noticed each time I've gone into add widget, well, there is a slightly quicker way. You can duplicate widgets like this and then just click edit. And from there you can then change the metric. So, okay, we've had first reply time. What about full resolution time? Great. And I want to use a gauge for that. Gauges are very popular. And with gauges as well, I can show you another neat little trick, which is to highlight when this metric is in an acceptable range or if it's performing badly. So the way you do that on here is to add what we call a status indicator. So I'm going to go ahead and click status indicators, and I want this to turn red if full resolution time is more than, let's say, 10 hours. And then equally, if we're doing really well and it's under 5 hours, I want it to turn green. Click save. And you'll notice here that because we're resolving tickets in an average of 14 hours, 58 minutes, that's not very good. So the widget has turned red. And as that metric changes throughout the day and is oscillating, it will either be red if it's in the danger zone, it'll be neutral if it's in the neutral area, or if we do really well and we get it under our target, then it will turn green. And obviously you can then start applying that idea to other interesting metrics as well, like CSAT is another great one to visualize in this kind of way. Just give the team a steer on how things are going over time. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead to a dashboard that I finished up earlier. And in case you're wondering, yes, we do support emojis, so you can include those in your titles and descriptions of your widgets. Very important point to note there. And with my finished dashboard, now I am keen to get this in front of people who will care about these metrics, namely my team, my boss, and everyone else in the organization, so that they can see what an amazing job we're doing. So few ways to do that, and they mostly live in this share menu up here to the top right. So I've clicked that, and the first way is to share a link directly to the dashboard. So I'm going to click that and open up a new tab. And this link shows a live version of the dashboard that's constantly updating throughout the day. But you, as the viewer of this dashboard, can't edit anything. You can't drag or drop, you can't change the metrics. So this is just a really quick and easy way to share the dashboard with people you trust, and they can quickly refer back to it. And if at any time you want to stop people viewing that dashboard, you can just click delete or regenerate here, and that link will then no longer be active. But quick and easy way to get eyes on your dashboard there. The next way is to send a screenshot of your dashboard out over email. So with this option, you can plug in as many email addresses as you want, and then pick the days and the times that you want your dashboard to be sent out to them. So that will send a static screenshot, but it's a great way to give everyone a quick update in the morning. So maybe it's the state of the queue or the backlog every morning, or maybe it's a wrap-up email at the end of the day to show how things have gone, what you've achieved. You can also set it to go out every month if you want to just update certain people at that cadence. And it works in a similar way with Slack as well. So if you're using Slack, you can connect your Slack account to Geckoboard and send screenshots out to specific channels at specific times at a regular schedule. And that's great because people can not only see the metrics, but they can then start commenting and discussing them as well within Slack. So that's really neat. Another way that you can share your dashboards is to invite others. So through here, you can add email addresses, which will then receive invites to join your Geckoboard account, and they'll be able to view your dashboards but not edit them. If you do want people to edit your dashboards, you can invite them separately through this People tab, where you can, again, just plug in an email address and choose if you want them to be admins or just view the other dashboards on your account. So that's nice and easy. And then the coolest way, I think, to share your dashboard is to display it up on a big screen or a TV in your workspace if you're back in the office. And to do that, we've made that as easy as possible through this Send to TV feature. So I'm actually going to just quickly delete that because this is what you will see first time you click it. And the way it works is you can get a web browser up and running on your TV or big screen using something like a Raspberry Pi or a small PC on a stick. I'll add a link that you can follow just to outline some of the devices that you can choose there, but they're all small and affordable. So if you've got any TVs mounted up on the wall in your office, it's really easy to get a browser up on there. And then once you've done that, you can go to gbrd.tv, and it will give you a unique code. So this is unique to this session. So if you try using that, it won't work. It's unique every time. But with that code, you can then go back to your Geckoboard account and pop it in there and click connect. And that has now paired that browser with my Geckoboard account. And you'll see if I just go back to this original one, it's displaying our Zendesk webinar dashboard. But if I wanted to change the dashboard that's up on our screen, I can go back to my Geckoboard account and choose a different dashboard. So I'm going to choose the original Zendesk webinar dashboard, very imaginatively titled. Click done, and there we go. That was our work in progress dashboard from before without the emoji. So it makes it really, really easy if you've connected that screen just to manage which dashboards are on there. Maybe you want want to show a monthly one or a daily one, and you want to switch between the two. But there is another neat feature that can actually make that even easier, which is to create a loop of dashboards. So if you've got several different dashboards, maybe reflecting different channels or different time periods, you can create what's called a loop. And a loop basically cycles through several dashboards, and you can choose to have that happen every few seconds or every few minutes. So it just means if you've got a limited number of screens in your workspace, you can use them efficiently and make sure that you're showing all the metrics that you would like on there. So really, really neat option there. Now, I just want to show you one more thing before I wrap up, because I mentioned earlier that relative to Zendesk Explore, that has many different options for customizing the color schemes and visuals of the dashboard. Geckoboard kind of is a bit more on rails. Well, we actually have a way for you to add a custom logo to your dashboard and also start playing with the core fundamental colors as well of the dashboard. So I won't go into too much detail there, because I normally end up creating some kind of monstrous combination of colors there. But if you do want to start customizing the basic look and feel of your dashboard, you can do so here if you've got your brand colors. So just to let you know about that. Okay, I think that is almost a wrap. As I say, if you've got any questions about what I've covered off here, then you can drop them in the comments below. We also have a super responsive support team ourselves, so if you do want to reach out to them, you can do so by clicking help in the top right, and we will get back to you. Our usual reply time is under 20 minutes, which is great. But for now, I will wish you an excellent rest of your day. Thank you very much.